Okay, so in this video I just want to talk about my top 3 tips about getting into property investing. You know, there's many different ways to do it and there's many different strategies. All in all, I would say the first thing is get yourself educated. You know, I studied so hard. You know, I was podcast, books, asking good questions to the right people, following people's vlogs, all that sort of stuff. I really went deep into the study and discovered all the different strategies, so I had an armory of what to do and what to put together. So there's even more ways you can do it now. There's plenty of free masterclasses, there's webinars. I do a lot of this myself, and mentorships, coaching, whatever suits yourself. But the main thing is get yourself educated. It is super important, because if you don't, your first property purchase or your first rent-to-rent deal or your first lease option deal could be your last. I've seen it time and time again where a lot of people are getting into this game with the shiny penny syndrome, thinking that it's easy to do, they don't need to get educated because everyone else is doing it, and they're making huge mistakes which are costing them fortunes and just putting them out the game on day one. So first and foremost, get educated. Number 2 is to make sure that you have your internal and your external teams built as quick as you possibly can. So your internal teams are typically, your refurbishment teams to start off with, your solicitors, anybody that is going to really help you internally with regards to, tax planning, your limited company setups, those type of things. Make sure that they're all put together. And then as you grow, you want to make sure that things like your VAs, if you're going to do service accommodation, your bookkeepers, your cleaners, your operations managers, your logistics managers, all these type of teams that you're building out are really important to helping you scale up mass. One thing I made the mistake of was I didn't get help soon enough. I took on too many properties. I tried to run them all myself and I didn't get help soon enough. And that was a big mistake. It slowed me down for sure. Yes, I still built a decent sized portfolio and still continue to grow, but I could have been further ahead had I got the help sooner and realized that, you get rid of your ego, get rid of the entrepreneur, I must do everything ego. It's really important to get your team. And the third tip, which is possibly the most important, is to get yourself out of the operations as quickly as possible. You'll hear the phrase all the time, work on the business, not in the business. It doesn't really hit home until you get big enough, but it is hugely important. Working on the business allows you to scale a lot quicker. You can add multiple revenue streams, you can network at higher levels, you can do the executive type stuff that really grows your business. And if you haven't got time to focus on that because you're doing operations, then a lot of people they stay small and they always struggle to scale. So it's really important that as you're building your team out to work you out of the business. There's no shame in you not working in the operations. You're still going to lead your team. You're still going to have those executive meetings with your senior managers within the business on a weekly, if not daily basis, to make sure you've got a touch on what's going on. But actually doing the day-to-day operations, you allow somebody else to do that for you and you just manage the business. So really important, they're my top 3 tips. So educate yourself, make sure your internal and external teams are on point, however you want them to structure it, and make sure your internal and external teams are feeding you out of the business so you can work on the business, not in the business, as soon as you possibly can. The biggest thing that I really clicked in my head was think of a staff member as an investment that will give you an ROI on your spend, just like you want to buy a property to give you an ROI, rather than as an expense and a cost to the business. Because if you find good staff, they'll help you grow a lot quicker than doing it all by yourself. So that's my top 3 tips on how to start investing in property. As always, if you're liking the content, please hit the like button and drop a comment. I reply to them all myself, so I'd love to hear your thoughts or if you've got any questions. And don't forget to subscribe, and more importantly, hit the bell notification so that you get alerts every time we launch a video. Take care, everyone.